STEM City by your side, we'll touch the sky. Students lifting students, hand in hand, together we rise, together we stand. Whenever we rise, together we stand. From every corner, from far and wide, our talents merge, our futures tied. In science, tech, and all the arts, we find our way, we play our parts, reach for the stars, for the stars.
Good afternoon. I'm Moria Bowman, your BEYA Stars and Stripes STEM Career Day Student Ambassador and current college student. The theme for January is resolutions. How can we make this the best 2026 possible? And what do we do right now to set that plan in motion? Today's guest is perfect for discussing the best ways to achieve our goals. Angela Williams is a 2025 WALK honoree with over 3 decades of experience in engineering, cybersecurity, and leadership. She will tell us about her journey to this career and how STEM played a part in her success. To continue the discussion with Ms. Williams, I'll turn it over to my fellow Career Day Student Ambassador, Dominic. Over to you.
Everybody, I'm Dominic Allegretti, a student ambassador and cybersecurity expert, and we would like to thank you for being on Career Day today, Miss Williams. We would love to hear about your journey and how you became a leader in your field.
Awesome. Thank you, Dominic and Moriah. I am excited to have been invited for today's show. Hopefully, this will be insightful. I welcome any questions that you may have about what I'm going to discuss and share with you so that you can walk away with hopefully a couple tips and tricks of how you can move your career forward or things you can look forward to in your career. As already shared, my name is Angela Williams, and I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer at UL Solutions, which is based in Northbrook, Illinois. Currently, I reside in Michigan, but I also reside in Chicago when I need to be present. I have been working for UL since 2022, where I joined. And UL Solutions is a global company serving over 80,000 customers for testing, inspection, and certification. And you might question, well, what is UL Solutions? I've never heard of them before. But UL Solutions is a organization that tests all products that you've ever touched in your home, in your schools, in buildings, and we ensure that that particular product is safe. So if you ever look at the back of your television or in the back of or the tag on a power strip, there's this UL with a circle around it. That is our signature stamp that is known worldwide. We have over 15,000 employees globally. And my job as the Chief Information Security Officer is to protect our data assets. I am very accountable for protecting the brand. And as I just said, we have 80,000 customers. And so that it comes with a lot of responsibility to ensure that not only do our customers maintain our trust, but we have the integrity of the program to ensure their protection. So today I want to share a little bit with you about my journey, how I got to where I am today. There's not a normal traditional path to get to the C-suite. However, there are some common threads that each leader is aware of and knows and practices and develops. And so as I started my journey out of high school, I'm going to call it, I was a chemical engineer. You go to the slide, I'm sorry. I was a chemical engineer straight out of high school. I thought I was going to be a chemist, and that did not happen because I was not really good at chemistry when I got to college. So I had to pivot during my college career and went into computer science when I discovered that I understood computers way more better than I understood chemistry. And so once I went into the computer science field, it became like a puzzle for me. And I really gravitated to understanding how computers work, how networks operate, what an operating system is, uh, how information is shared between devices, et cetera, et cetera. So I was early on in my career a network engineer or systems engineer. And it just grew from that point. I understood the basics of infrastructure, operating systems, software applications. And as time went by, I began to evolve in understanding how to pull these or sew these things together from as a project manager. I worked for an organization that was a beverage company, and that's where I got my first start right out of college. I was an intern for them for a year, and they hired me on, and that is how I got into IT, and that's the introduction for me. Cyber was not a thing back then. No one really had a official cybersecurity or information security department. It was all IT at that point in time. And the only time it became a cyber became a practice is when identity theft became a big deal, and that was around the year 2000, where people IDs were being stolen by threat actors, and all of a sudden that is where people became more intentional about what it is we need to protect in order for credit card fraud to be removed, and people taking out loans in other people's names because they had your personal information. That is the beginning of cybersecurity. And I still wasn't interested in it at all. I thought my job, my career was going to be all within IT because that was more of the de facto for people who came out of college with a computer information systems degree. I got introduced to cyber, I would say in 2008, when I worked for a CIO, and the law of HIPAA became a thing, and we needed to ensure we had the right controls in place to protect data within our environment. And so I was asked by our CIO to create a program that would protect uh, PHI data, which is protected health information. And so I started my first role, I would say, in security, just doing that. It was all data protection. And what's interesting is even to this day, data protection is still the number one objective I have, no matter which company I've worked for. But through my career, I've been able to navigate different roles through different organizations. And I would say one of the key things in navigating the career is being willing to take on what I call uncharted territory, the projects that nobody else wanted to do, or because it was so unstructured and unknown or not common. This is where a lot of people kind of shy away from it, where I like to run into it. I love a project or a challenge that no one else has accomplished before. It's net new. There's nothing really compare it to. So you get a green field opportunity to really make it what it can be. And I think that has helped me throughout my career by taking on those big scary projects that was uncharted territory. And so moving forward in my career, I've been able to partner and have the right mentors to give me feedback and in I'll say insight about who I am versus who I thought I was, and give me challenges and take on roles in different organizations to accelerate my role, my career to the next level. It wasn't easy. It wasn't straightforward. There was a lot of pivoting that I had to do throughout my career to get to the next challenge or the next level. And to get to a senior vice president is definitely an accomplishment. I'm very proud of myself, but I do it for you guys, for the next generation that is looking for roles, looking for opportunities. And I want to make sure that there's enough seats at the table for everybody, because I believe that is an opportunity. There is an option. And so whatever I can do as a senior vice president, I try to take on that challenge to provide enough room for everyone to feel comfortable and enough mentorship, because I have many mentees, but I am also a mentee. I have never gotten rid of my mentors because it's necessary. And as I've been moving in my career and challenging myself with what's next, what is it that needs to be solved around the corner, these sort of strengths have been very beneficial for me. One thing I was missed to mention is I am married, been married for quite a while, and I do have two adult children. One just graduated from Michigan State, and the other one graduated from U of M. Both are working, somewhat off payroll, but they're great guys, and I'm very proud of both my sons who have been successful so far in their journey. If I were to think about my personal interests, because work is work, but then you got the other side. You gotta have some fun. I'm a golfer. I'm an avid golfer. I golf as much as I can, especially if the weather is really nice here in Michigan. I spend a lot of time traveling with family. I love food. Food is good. I'm a big foodie. I'll try any kind of food. Anything out the ocean is my favorite food. So regardless of the cuisine, regardless of how it's prepared, I am very inquisitive and curious about food. I will say when people ask me like, what would you do? What would you advise your younger self, your 18-year-old self? What you see here on the slide is uh, I didn't realize when I was younger that to be a good leader, you need to never stop learning. In my brain at that time, I thought leadership was just give me a title, I'm in charge. Everybody is listening to me. And that is the opposite of leadership. Staying curious, learning from your mistakes, being willing to make a mistake and being willing to put yourself out there can feel very vulnerable. But a good leader listens to the folks around them, takes in that advice, challenges themselves at the same time, can pivot when they realize that things are not going in the direction it needs to be, and communicate with others, bring others along for the ride as you go through whatever it is that you're I'll call it a transforming. As a leader, you are a transformer. And I would like everyone to always think about themselves as a leader, regardless if you're an individual contributor, if you're a senior leader, manager, director, vice president, it doesn't matter. Everybody's a leader. What changes is your ability to think and see the big picture. Do not see the tree, see the forest. Be able to influence at a level where people are willing to follow. This helps you along your career journey to getting from individual contributor to whatever is your career aspiration is. And those are some of the things that I have observed about my own career is I'm a constant learner. I'm always asking questions. I'm very curious about how things work, how things operate. And if I don't understand, I try to ensure I ask the right questions so that I can get to the answers that I need so I can build upon that information. I think one of the superpowers I've developed over my career is being able to translate complex topics, and cyber is a complex topic. A lot of people shy away from it. So I've had the blessing to translate that topic into very relatable conversations so people who are not a part of this field are able to understand. I use a ton of analogies because to me those are way more relatable than telling people about threat actors, which can be kind of boring, but that is one way that I have been able to navigate. So there's a combination of things and levers that I've been able to pull. And I would say the number one thing that I've been able to lever that I've been pulled is your professional network. Building a great professional network to me is the biggest asset you could actually have. And you start doing that, I would say, in college. In high school, you should learn to talk to people, interact with people, share a little bit about yourself so others can be aware of who you are, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. But college is the golden egg. That is where you begin to build that professional network. And you probably ask me, well, why would I do it in college? You know, it's because you have thousands of people who you don't know and they don't know you. But one day they're going to make something out of their career and you're going to be like, I went to college with that person, but you never connected. Start building that professional network in college, and you will be surprised how that professional network helps you through your career. Every role that I've gotten in my career has been because of a network connection that I had. Someone calls me and says, hey, there's an opportunity open. Would you be interested in interviewing? I'm always open to talking about opportunity. So never turn anything down but your collar. Always be open to have a conversation. So as I've been going through my career and have sponsors and mentors, these opportunities have opened up because of that network. And the network is there to help you along the way. A lot of the good jobs, best jobs are not ever posted on Indeed or on LinkedIn. It is because your network knows that what you're trying to accomplish. I work at UL. If I get to know you guys and like, oh, there's a position coming up, I will make a phone call. I'll do a reach out, say, hey, we have a role coming up. Thought you might be interested, especially if I know you really well. I know your skill set. That is how you get introduced to some of the best positions. And I'm very grateful that most of my positions that I've gotten throughout my career have all been because of that network. Even my senior vice president job that I sit in today was because of a phone call from a former colleague who knew me for years and called and said, "Hey, we have an open position. I thought about you. Want to know if you'd be interested in interviewing for it." And so that's an overview of who I am, how I've kind of moved a little bit. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dominique, maybe, so we can have some more conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, Miss Williams. We will take a quick commercial break and then we'll ask you some questions about your presentation and more about your journey.
Perfect.
It's the moment in your eyes when the future becomes clear.
40 years ago, a vision was born to break barriers, to celebrate brilliance.
The hopes of what's in reach.
From pioneers to innovators to tomorrow's dreamers, BEYA has changed the landscape of STEM forever. Great minds, great people, great futures. Join us for BEYA 40. Don't just watch history, be part of it. BEYA, becoming everything you are.
Become everything you are.
Welcome back, everybody. We are live with Miss Angela Williams, and we're just going to go a little bit more deeper into your story. I know there was a viewer that had asked a question, and we wanted to know, since you are like a CISO, for those that don't know, that's like maybe like the security CEO in a sense of a company. We wanted to ask you, what is like your day to day, look like with what it is that you're doing, since you do probably balance a lot being the CISO of a company.
Great question. The day in life of Angela. So it changes every day. It's never the same. Working for a global company, as you can imagine, we work on different time zones. So my team right now is about 75 people globally. Most of that team well, I'll say 50% of it is in Asia Pacific, Europe, and then the United States. So we have different time zones. So when I think about my day really starts on Central Standard Time. Even though I live most of the time in Eastern Standard, when I go to Chicago and stay there, I'm on Central. So everything starts like early in the morning. Um, I get, first of all, I'm accountable for governance, risk, and compliance and data privacy globally. I'm accountable for security operations, which is our ability to monitor, protect, and defend ourselves. I'm accountable for identity and access management globally. I'm accountable for architect and engineering and performance and program management. So you might ask, like, that's a lot of different domains. There's a lot of different moving parts. I have 4 amazing leaders who report to me who are accountable for each one of those domains. My day-to-day job is to be tied into our business partners, understanding what uh, programs, delivery services that we are to deliver to our customers. What are those things, and how can cybersecurity enable them in a manner to deliver that service in a way that still protects the integrity of our organization? And so when you think about a company, you're a treasure trove of data, and we're hosting and holding on to our customers' data. UL's accountable for testing products that aren't even on the market yet. So you can imagine that's intellectual property. And when you think
Mhm.
about holding on to data as someone else's intellectual property, it becomes even more high value. And so we have the accountability to ensure that there's protection in place. So my day to day is interacting with all of the senior vice presidents who are part of our business leader domains, and understanding where they're going for like 2026. What are your goals? What's going to happen this year? How can we align, and then making sure my team has the right tools, the budget, to develop and implement the solutions that are necessary. So one big project we're working on now is identity and access management globally to make it all centralized and making sure our business partners understand what that means, how it looks. I am a part of a lot of external organizations in the Chicago area. I try to stay plugged into the CISO community there because I'm learning from what other CISOs are going through at their companies. And so there's a lot of information sharing that happens. Um, but from day to day, it can range. Like yesterday, we had a business email compromise come through, and so my team alerted
Mm.
me, and we had to have a conversation about where it came from, who it went to, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very fluid day. Does it make it exciting? Yes. Does it make it stressful? Yes. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
Thank you for that. Um, I another question. I when you were doing your presentation, I heard that you had like to do a pivot during college. How did you feel? Like, did you feel like when you changed your major, did you feel like your life was like uprooted? Like,
So,
how did
great
you feel?
question. No, so I was deflated. I'll put it that way. My brain was set to be a chemical engineer. I was great in high school with that. Got to college and was completely horrible. I couldn't get out of a C grade. That was bad. And I remember my dad telling me, if you're studying all night and you're still getting a C or D in a class, that's the wrong major. Get out of it. And so I was confused about what do I do next. So what I did when I pivoted, I didn't share this, but I had to go to the College of Liberal Arts and sit there for like a whole semester because I didn't know what I was going to do at that time. And when you go into the College of Liberal Arts, they make you take a bunch of general classes. And I took this class called computer science. And that one opened up a whole nother Pandora box for me because it was like a light bulb went on as the professor was
Mm.
talking through the whole field of computers and how they work and
Mm.
I operate. I was ignited with a whole different passion of understanding and desire to learn. And that's when I pivoted and decided I will go into the School of Business, which is where computer science was sitting at that time.
Hmm. That's really cool. And that shows a different kind of resilience because sometimes you have to like, okay, one type of resilience is powering through, and then the other type of resilience is being able to switch lanes.
Yeah.
And that's really admirable.
I think everyone should learn how to pivot and pivot with the intention of trust the process. We get it stuck
Mhm.
in our brains that it has to be sequential, it's got to work this way. I wrote out my plan, everything should work one, two, three. And when you get to a roadblock or an obstacle, the world blows up. You need to not think like that. And you should think about the process is in place for a reason.
Mhm.
You're going to go through some obstacles and challenges. It's for a purpose. Every challenge I ran into in my younger years has shown up for me today in a manner of I've been there, done that. I'm not phased. You can't knock me off my square because I'm accustomed to change, and change is always going to happen. And as a leader, most importantly, is when you have a team of people who are going to look at your face, check out your body language when organizational changes are happening. They're panicked if you're looking like you're panicking. So if you don't master the skill of when change is necessary, cool, calm, and collected is where you need to be. Because when you finally do get a team, if you're not acting cool, calm, and collected, they're gonna panic because they're looking at you panic.
Mm.
Right. And that's where that preparation and works comes from, where you put in so many reps, it's kind of like uh, fluent in a sense. I wanted to pivot, no pun intended, to this is more of a personal question I wanted to ask because being in like the cybersecurity industry, I'm pretty sure you've heard of AI and how it's like the new hot commodity and different things like that. But from your perspective as a CISO, how close our organizations really being able to fully implement AI? Because I've seen studies where like 84 to 90% of companies out there don't even have the infrastructure to implement AI. So I would love to kind of just hear your take on that, because you always hear on the internet, oh, AI is going to take over in the next year or two, or it's going to do this. But not too many people know that not every company has the infrastructure to implement it.
That's very true. AI is a hot topic. People can't stop talking about it. No different. They couldn't stop talking about blockchain when that was a big deal, or cloud, or offshoring. It's just
Hmm.
been the next wave. AI is one of those game changers where we have to be very thoughtful as to how we're using it. I think the first thing we've been trying to accomplish is, what problem are we really trying to solve? Put a real problem on the wall. Let's talk about why it's a problem. And then let's talk about, is AI the solution in solving that problem? I think it has been such a topic and is very overwhelming. And to your point, there isn't a lot of infrastructure to have a strong AI um, approach, or I'll call it model. You need a place to store all that data. Data storage costs money. Data storage costs a lot of things. So companies are having to rethink truly, what is the cost for what we want to accomplish using AI? Is the juice worth the squeeze or not? We have been approaching it in a very incremental manner. First and foremost, AI being used against us from threat actors is real. The sophistication of, you don't need to worry about an email looking crazy or sounding wrong or having incorrect grammar. AI threat actors using AI just to write the right email. So that's like a game changer. So we've been working with our partners of the tools we already have in place and understanding their roadmap of how they are integrating AI to identify nefarious activity in the environment faster, or how are they helping us make sure that we can get rid of a lot of the noise so my analysts don't have to deal with going through logs manually. If there's a way AI can glean through that very quickly
Tell
and,
me
and let
about it.
some, exactly, you don't want to spend 12 hours trying to go through logs. Like, it's just too much. So those are some
Yeah.
of I think practical key business processes that we can leverage AI for. But then when we think about how are we using AI to deliver services, that is where the conundrum
Hmm.
happens. And we've not figured out that problem quite yet.
Got you. Thank you so much for that input. No, that's you definitely hit the head on it. I'm an analyst as well, and I've been able to use AI a bit in my job, and it definitely helps, speed things up. And I think the less false positives we have to deal with, the easier we can spin on things that actually are, important. So,
Yeah.
thank you for that insight.
One last question. What courses did you take to go into this field? Like, what college courses? Like, did you take algebra, calculus? Like, what kind of maths did you take?
So I do not have a degree in cybersecurity. Let's start right there. I have an IT degree in computer science. When I was in
Gotcha.
college, there was no curriculum called cybersecurity. They were teaching us how the world of computers were working. I joined the workforce at a time where desktop computers was the thing. Like, no company, they were all coming from mainframes to desktop. So that was the big AI at that time, because everybody's like, oh my God, the internet's going to change the world. Jobs are going to be lost because of the internet. Like, what? So the courses that I had to take in college were your basic ones. I took all the math. This is why I thought I was a great chemical engineer. I went all the way to uh, physics for quantum math. Like, I knew all of that. Yeah,
Oh,
I took a lot of math and I took a lot of science classes. I only had maybe a handful of computer classes because there were no computer labs back then. So we were all theoretical out of a book and out of a whiteboard to talk about computers in their current state, because they were so expensive. You can imagine, you can go to Costco right now and get you a laptop for like $200. Back
wow.
then, to put a desktop on a desk in a corporate America, 6 grand per desktop. That's how expensive it was, because it was new technology at the time. So unfortunately, I didn't get the courses. So my course in life was real time. Like, as the world kept changing and technology was evolving, I had to keep up with what was happening and learning and taking classes. I took a lot of different um, like courses. The certifications weren't even a big deal back then, but I started getting certifications so that I could keep myself up to speed with what was happening and changing in the time of the technology era.
Wow, that's a lot of learning. Wow.
Yes.
My head would hurt.
It's a
Okay.
never-ending
Well,
industry for sure.
It is.
yes, yes.
Right now, if I had to take a security course, I don't think well, I'm horrible at test taking. Let me say that up front. I'm horrible. I am really good in real time taking in information. I know what I know because of not only experience, but things I've read and studied. But if you put it on a test, I can't guarantee I'm gonna pass that because I'm not good at taking tests.
Right.
Wow.
Same way. I don't know how I've been able to pass certain certifications. I just cram it. But um, my last question is kind of like a two in one. The first one, because I know the social media is like really big now, and everybody's talking about how to get into cybersecurity. I did want to ask you, to tell the audience what's like one piece of tangible advice that, somebody could start doing right now to put themselves on the path into cybersecurity. And then the second part of my question is, what's a piece of advice you would give to a young woman who wants to get into the cybersecurity industry? Because I know there's not a lot of women in the industry, let alone, minority women, and having a leader like yourself is, a great example. So
Great question. Okay, first question. Um, a piece of advice of for how to get into the cyber practice. And that's a very loaded question, and I'm going to tell you why, because
mhm,
there's no direct path to get into cyber. Um, if I were to practically look at, if I have no skill sets in this, I would take time to understand the basics. One thing I look for is a junior person coming into our department is, do you know and understand frameworks? Every cyber program is based upon a framework, NIST, ISO, you name it. It's got to be based upon a controls. And if you
mhm,
know the NIST framework, you understand, you know what ISO is, that helps you because all our policies are based upon that. In practicality, if you do internships, those are golden. That gets your foot in the door. Companies know you don't really know a lot. They're more than willing to teach you. And then once you've graduated, you normally get hired. We hire all our interns because that is to me the next generation of professionals. And because we spent a whole summer or 2 summers with this person, we've already poured a lot of education and training in them. And I want to continue to benefit from it. And I want them to feel appreciated and can benefit from a career. So internships are the first go-to. I had internships when I was in college. It's important to have internships. If you are past college and you're trying to get into cyber, this is where again that network has to happen because you're coming in as entry level person. Never not apply. Okay. Entry level positions, every company knows you just don't know everything. Do not be overwhelmed that the job description says you got to have 21,000 different degrees, you got to have 12 different skill sets, you got to
mhm.
have 8 years of, Python coding. We throw the kitchen sink in those job descriptions. So do not be swayed that job description is looking for some unique unicorn because it is. Be very confident in just applying and selling yourself. Write your resume in a manner that speaks to the role itself. Now, as a woman in the field of cyber, and to your point, you're right, there's not a lot, and I've been advocating and championing for more women to get in this field. I would say do not doubt yourself. Do not think that you have to be the right all the right skills that are checked off on that box. I see people apply for positions that are like 20% of the experience based upon what the job description is. Get your foot in the door by being your authentic self, but trying, or I will say, putting yourself out there. Apply. Don't look and pick and choose. Just apply to everything. And as a female, I would also say the don't shy away from thinking you have to be technical all the time to be in these roles. You do not. In fact, there's two different personas, in my opinion, from the cyber perspective. One, the internal team, like I have a strong technical team, men and women. They love to be, glass on screen, eyes on screens, and stuff like that. But I have to also find people who are people folks who have the soft skills, who can go talk to the business. I would not send some of my technical people to talk to anybody because they will make them not feel smart enough. So I will keep those folks talking to the other technical folks within IT, and then my soft skill folks, which I feel a lot of women have that ability, risk management, governance, compliance, data privacy. That you can have a technical background, but truly your skill set is about how to conversate with people and share
Right.
information. And so those are roles that we are still missing a lot of people.
For sure. Thank you. That's amazing advice. For sure. Thank you. We appreciate it.
And as
Maria, if there's anything you would like to end off with?
Oh, yes. Well, I just wanted to say we got to close out. I would have wanted to talk to you for hours because this is so interesting. But do you have anything, any final words you want to give to us so we can, and we'll turn it over to commercial break?
Yeah, final words. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I hope this information was beneficial for those who are seeking to move your career forward as a leader. Possibilities are endless. Work on yourself, work on your soft skills, how you communicate, your executive presence. And what I mean by executive presence, making sure you can articulate a message in a very concise manner, making sure your writing skills are very concise. I mean, you can use AI for that too. But there are things that as a leader, you should always take leadership development classes, emotional intelligence, being self aware. And the number one thing I think that I walk away with is being open to being given and receiving feedback. Feedback is a gift because we can believe our own headline, but that may be false if someone else can tell you what they see and how you show up. Take that as advice and then move forward.
Thank you so much.
Truly, thank you. That concludes the questions that we have for today. Many thanks to Angela Williams for sharing her insights and talents with us. Please stay tuned for commercials and our next segment, STEM Spotlight.
Thank you, guys.
Calling all future STEM pioneers, leaders, and career champions. Join us on every second Saturday of the month for the BEYA Career Day. BEYA STEM Career Day is all about creating opportunities for students to venture into the world of STEM through the eyes of professionals. You'll meet mentors and presenters that will give you a sneak peek into the many options available to you in the field of STEM. Hosted by teen ambassadors, you'll find yourself among inspiring peers just like yourself that are aiming high for their future. To take part in the BEYA STEM Career Day on Zoom, visit fullstemahead.us and register for the next session. Again, that's fullstemahead.us. BEYA, becoming everything you are.
A world of careers unleashed. You can get it at BEYA. Become everything you are.
Thanks for joining us on Career Day. We just heard from Angela Williams about her journey through STEM, and now we're going to learn more about the astounding life of Lewis Howard Latimer, the man who helped revolutionize communication. Lewis Howard Latimer was born on September 4th, 1848 in Chelsea, Massachusetts. He enlisted in the Union Navy in 1864 when he was only 16 years old. And he was actually able to teach himself mechanical drawing without any prior experience or even a mentor. Eventually, he became a chief draftsman, patent expert, and an inventor. After the Civil War, Latimer was very active in the Grand Army of the Republic, a group for Civil War veterans that helped people secure voting rights, pensions, and was key in establishing Memorial Day. In 1873, he married and started a family. His time was spent in service, work, artistic pursuits, and he also even taught drafting, assisted immigrants in learning English. He wrote poems and plays. He painted and even played the flute. He was considered a Renaissance man, a person with a variety of expertise in many different areas. Professionally, his drafting was legendary. He was employed by Thomas Alva Edison and Alexander Graham Bell. Pretty sure y'all know who those are. He held 7 patents, and his drafting led to patents for the telephone, the light bulb, early air conditioning, train bathroom improvements, a locking coat rack, and a book supporter. Lewis Howard Lattimore improved every major invention he worked on, making the light bulb viable for mass production, creating a more efficient transmitter for the telephone, and engineering efficiency, scalability, and smart solutions for the newly developing modern era. His impact can be felt every time you use a phone, turn on a light, benefit from the vast network of people he's actually inspired through his teachings and acts of service. Latimer was more than an inventor. He was a role model in every aspect of his life. His determination and genius led to his success, but he paid it forward every chance he got, helping others who were new to the country, his community, and those veterans who helped shape America's future. He is truly inspirational, and his accolades are well earned. We hope you enjoyed learning about today's featured inventor, Lewis Howard Latimer, and his incredible story of STEM success. He helped revolutionize communication and showed that determination and genius has lasting impact on our world. While you watch this next commercial, think of someone you think would be a great candidate for a STEM spotlight and share their name with us in the chat.
In today's rapidly changing workforce landscape, finding the right talent isn't just about filling positions. It's about building the future. But with new policies shaping how organizations approach recruitment, companies and institutions need a smarter way to connect with top STEM talent, fairly, effectively, and compliantly. That's where CCG Job Match comes in. For more than 30 years, Career Communications Group has been bridging the gap between education and industry. Job Match is our workforce development program that links employers with thousands of qualified, motivated candidates, students and professionals ready to make an impact. With Job Match, companies gain access to a broad pool of skilled applicants, engineers, technologists, innovators, while ensuring every hiring decision is based on merit. No quotas, no preferences, just opportunity and talent matched with precision. Education partners benefit too, helping their graduates transition seamlessly into the workforce while showcasing the strength of their academic programs to leading employers nationwide. In a world where policies may change, one thing remains constant: the need for great talent. CCG Job Match is where industries, institutions, and innovation meet. Let's build the future together. Contact us at CCG Job Match to start your partnership today.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children, with caring mentors and hands-on activities, with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle, with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being, with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
And that was STEM City USA, our 2D metaverse. If you want to be able to maximize your time and get the best educational value, learn more about Colin AI, the AI-powered library in STEM City USA. You can interact with our archives and ask questions to locate primary sources from different decades of media. Don't forget to visit stemcityusa.com and enter the Education and Discovery building. From there, enter the library to sign up for your digital library card.
Hi everyone, my name is Celia and I'm here to share some quick tips to help you make the most of your college experience. It can feel overwhelming at first, but your university has a ton of resources to help you succeed. So let's talk about a few of them. First, financial aid. Don't be afraid to visit the financial aid office on your campus or call them. They can help you with scholarships, grants, and work-study programs. It's not just for tuition, they can also help with housing and other expenses that you might have during your stay on campus. Next, the bookstore. Before you buy new books, check for used books or rentals. You can save a lot of money. Also, see if your professors are okay with you using older editions as a cheaper option. If you're having trouble in class, your college has you covered with different course support options. Look for something like an academic support center or tutoring center. They can offer free tutoring, writing labs, and study groups. It's a game changer for your education. Now let's talk about where you'll be living. Some of you will be living on campus in resident halls. Your RA, which is the resident advisor, is your go-to person for everything from roommate issues to even finding your way around campus. They're there to help and they're there for you to ask questions. And that's just the beginning. Your campus also has health and wellness centers, career service centers to help you find internships and jobs, and clubs for many different interests on campus. My biggest piece of advice, don't be afraid to ask for help. Everyone here wants you to succeed. Take advantage of all the different amazing resources that your school has to offer, and please have a great semester.
Thank you to all who joined us for Career Day today. We appreciate your insights in the chat and your opinions and questions. In line with this month's theme of resolutions, we hope that we have steered you closer to your perfect STEM career. And we thank everyone who was able to give their time, talents, treasures, and efforts to helping their communities and their country. Thank you to our Career Day speaker, Angela Williams, for joining us today and sharing her experience and insights. Remember to visit STEMcityUSA.com for more BEYA STEM Career Day segments and to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us for our next Career Day on February 14th, 2026, where we'll feature even more STEM professionals, college students, and high school standouts. I'm ready to explore new STEM careers with you. We'll see you next time. This is Dominic Allegretti signing off.
The pre-college student program gives them a sense that somebody really cares about what their future is going to be. It gives them some encouragement to go to college, go to a trade school. It gives them, I think, some hope that there's something out there for them. My name is Anna Bertrand. I'm the conference coordinator for Career Communications Group. I am also the coordinator for the pre-college program. The pre-college student program is geared towards your middle, elementary, and high school students. The focus of the pre-college program is really to give students an opportunity to interact with professionals, for them to attend the workshops. That way they have an idea of the different opportunities that are available to them. When they go to the career floor, they're able to talk to recruiters, they're able to talk to different colleges that are there. They're able to interact basically with other students also. It gives the students a different opportunity, I feel, to meet professionals that they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to meet. I think that it is something that is worth getting involved with. If you are able to get your students involved, please just contact me.